Awesome. Alright guys, so chat gratification aside, we're back in the series now. Currently leading 1-0 in the bottom right corner of the map. He's green and he's Terran. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Beastyqt. And I do want to remind you all, he is probably like the most badass prominent bomb job when it comes to STARBOW. Check his stream out sometime, guys. It's simply twitch.tv/Beastyqt. He streams on Team Liquid. You can find him listed there. He's featured as well as specifically STARBOW. It's pretty cool that they did that for him. And he's back to action for StarCraft 2 even. He's looking to get GM. We'll see if that happens. But his opponent in the top left for now, here in the finals of the ESL STARBOW tournament number 8, it is LuckyGnom. Now the finals is only a best of 3. QQ, not that best of 5 we all love to see. But, you know, with no money on the line, it's kind of understandable that they don't want to put too much into this. You don't want to have a player stress out and freak the hell out because he didn't lose. You know, he lost points. Like, oh god, I just wasted like an hour playing a best of 5 for points. WTF. But yeah, okay. So far we've seen mech, and more mech. I would love as well. So nice 13 in chat as well, saying exactly as I'm about to say it. I want to see some bio drops. I'd love to see some bio. Period. Beastie played earlier today with some Reapers that were really cool to see. The upgraded Reapers, no less, so the elite Reaper training with the D8 or the C4 cluster charges, but didn't get to use them against really anything. He just kind of won the game with them, so it was a little abrupt and a little bit sad. Would really like to see him pull this out. Beastie, by the way, is a player who's not afraid to experiment with builds in a tournament setting. He's also a player who's a bit of a show-off too, so if he gets ahead far enough in this game, we may start seeing some crazy tactics, but I imagine for now, competitive as he is, the focus has to be on winning. Now, is Ibarra here again? He is. Okay, STARBOW guys. If the STARBOW creators are still here in chat or whoever, who the hell is Ibarra? And why is he chilling on the map like this, listed under LuckyGnom's units? This is the little dude chilling in the middle of nowhere. Anyways, all of these space construction vehicles, aka SCVs, just mining away for the time being. BC has not taken any gas yet. This is actually kind of an indicator of two things. One is the fact that he wants that quicker expansion, which did in fact get thrown down, but more importantly than that, LuckyGnom's not going to have to worry about early aggression. There's not going to be vultures coming his way anytime soon, and quite frankly for him, seeing that there's no wall off, might be more inclined to go for vultures himself to come across the map and punish Beastie. I mean, you might put a bunker down, but you can run past the bunker no problem with vultures. Marines don't have that much damage associated with them. Oh god, build something, build something. Oh, he did it. Oh, that's such a dick move. Alright, so the SCV died there. Sorry, I was too busy getting excited about that. You do see players actually do this as legit tactics. It wastes a lot of time, and it's really frustrating for a Terran player who's trying to transfer a building to like completely get denied like this. So what would have been quicker ion thrusters is now delayed even further because he couldn't get that tech lab researching right away. Obviously doesn't want to kill a 90% completed vulture in order to get that, but we'll swap it over right away. And we'll see if it's a big spider mines or the ion thrusters first. I would like, okay, it's gonna be spider mines. Would have liked the ion thrusters. I think they give you a little bit more control and mobility this early, but still, LuckyGnom is not really going to be able to take advantage of Beastie's slower opening here, sadly, and I don't think we'll be able to punish him. Beastie's actually setting up a full wall off here to completely choke out his opponent. One vulture across the map could run past his bunker. Of course, he doesn't know what's in the bunker. A little bit afraid of like 4 Marines, but just one is not that big of a threat. I mean, really, just run this past and you get so many worker kills, LuckyGnom. Take that risk, man. Gamble it. Throw the dice. He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Alright, well, with the fear of a full wall off coming up too, one thing he does have to worry about. Ooh, actually gonna pick off this SCV trying to move out. Nope, not good. What? It's a free kill, man. Why would you? God, Schwarzenegger now. I don't understand what is happening. But okay, barracks being floated across the map, so we'll be mech again at LuckyGnom. He's gonna get vision from this too, which is really nice. But I mean, realistically, Beastie's not going to lose anything anytime soon. He's got a tank on the way, or he's got a tank finish up. He's got siege mode on the way. It's so weird going back in time, by the way, and seeing siege mode need to be researched. For those who don't know, it was like that in Wings of Liberty as well. Heart of the Swarm is when they introduced the fact that you no longer need to research siege mode to get siege mode. But because I've been playing with that for so long, it's just so foreign and weird to see that happening. But coming out here in a moment's time. Fun story for those who don't know, if you weren't keeping up with the lore of the game, or Project Blackstone as it was called, the reason siege tanks no longer need research for siege mode in regular Heart of the Swarm is because they got rid of bathrooms that were built into the siege tanks, or latrines as they were role-playingly called, because Marines already have diapers in their outfits. Why do they need additional bathrooms? I'm not kidding. That's literally the reason why siege tanks can now do siege mode, because they fit the tech in there. They got rid of the bathrooms in a siege tank to fit the tech in. I'm not kidding you. It's so depressing. That's the real truth behind it. You guys can Google that to confirm if you'd like. But anyways, just fun fact. Doesn't apply to this game, of course. Now finished researching siege mode. BC is pretty well defended. Other side of the map, LuckyGnom's left some Goliaths in the mineral lines. Perhaps a little bit worried of a drop, but not coming anytime soon. Another scan of the main from BC. Sees the armory on the way, but really that doesn't tell too much. An armory is somewhat standard. Upgrades have always been seemed to be delayed in STARBOW, as a lot more emphasis is on the units than the actual upgrades, which is kind of, again, what makes this game a little bit more unique. But rather than worry about it too much, both players just teching up solidly. Tanks being made. We got dropships coming out of BC. Actually, where's the starport? Oh, hidden way down here. Okay. So I'm not sure that he's going to be inclined to necessarily go for that same Doom drop tactic. But if we can real talk for a second, guys, it worked out fantastically well. But I think mostly because a lot of Goliaths were forced to deal with the Banshees, and no tanks could have been afforded to be made. This time LuckyGnom is going to have some tanks out, and I don't think this is going to be necessarily the free win that Beastyqt hopes it is. Should still be able to get a fair amount of damage off, though, depending on where he drops. Positioning is key when it comes to siege tanks. No matter how you look at it in this game, positioning is always the #1 priority. And now I'm out of water. QQ. If this goes to game number 3, I'm going to have to run and get some more. But for now, I'm going to try and camel this up. Store that water in. Again, lots of tanks available right now. We get some spider mines coming down in base out of Beasty out of fear of a drop from his opponent. But that's not going to be the case, unfortunately. For now, at least. These may come into effect later on, guys. Spider mines do not have a duration. They are around for an infinite amount of time. But siege tanks are moving out, and they will they get scattered by these spider mines? Yep, LuckyGnom sees the medevacs, the dropships moving. These units look a little bit weird, guys, because they are not medevacs. They are just straight up dropships. They do have the boost ability still, though. You know, the reason this drop I'm a little bit worried about it working is because the longer cooldown on the siege tank attack. If it had the same attack speed that it has currently in StarCraft 2, maybe it's a little bit different, but as each tank takes out a unit, it's almost 5 seconds before it can fire again. It's quite ridiculous. Both players just scanning like nuts. Beastie, of course, needs to find an opening here. Right here might be the perfect spot for him. If there's any dead space here, he could really abuse that too. But scans to see, yep, that's a great spot to unload, and will unload all of his siege tanks. Once again, LuckyGnom's going to be coming uphill. I believe siege tanks still suffer from the 50% chance to miss shooting uphill. I could be mistaken on that, but Goliaths do get to the top of the ramp, going to soak some of these hits, and the siege tanks coming out will be able to hold the lines by the looks of it. No research on the dropships to go for the hot pickup, so it looks like these tanks will die in the end, but doing some damage before he goes down. More siege tanks going to be taken out. BC takes, again, a very favorable trade, even after all these get cleaned up. Oh, well, that one vulture, 1 HP for the win. Okay, so that didn't do game-ending damage for BC, but he killed a lot of Goliaths of his opponent, and more importantly than that, some tanks went down too. He's established a third while this is happening. Unfortunately, this gets scanned, so that does make it a little bit dangerous. We should see those quicker supply depots come down, and I thought that was a tent for a second. It's just, okay, that's cool, I guess. I don't know why I thought it was a tent, but, you know, I'm cool like that. Coming back with the dropships, though, keeping this alive is actually pretty nice. Not that I think he's going to go for a second Doom drop anytime soon, but the maneuverability option is really nice. And let's not forget, you can always keep the vultures ready to harass if you load like 8 vultures up and send them across the map. You know, LuckyGnom's like say sieged out here, ready to defend. You put 4 vultures in your opponent's main. Have fun cleaning that up. Another dropship looks like it was reluctantly left across the map, whether it was on purpose or by accident. Beasty is just kind of idling with it. And looks like he's going to start spreading spider mines when he can. For now, just patrolling between the bases to scout when they get taken. Beasty. Paging Beastyqt. Hello? You have a medevac waiting for you in the waiting room? Or not medevac, a dropship. Okay, well, unfortunately, this is going to go down. Not a big deal. No, actually, we'll try and boost around it. Alright, so it gets on out. Meanwhile, spider mines have also been laid down to Beasty's potential bases, so both players... Oh, sorry, I thought it was both players widow mines for a second. That would have been really awkward. But another Doom Drop has been loaded up and will be going to go for this attack. Once again, in the same spot, no less, I imagine. But there are turrets coming down this time. However, there's not nearly enough turrets to stop these medevacs before they unload their precious cargo. And if those tanks siege up again, LuckyGnom's going to be in for some trouble as his army is completely out of position. Setting up for a drop of his own. Spider mines do not go off on vultures, guys. Please keep this in mind. So unfortunately for Beasty, he's not going to be able to deal with this too easily. Medevacs are unfortunately, or not medevacs, dropships are revealed. Not forced to drop out just yet. Trying to find a pristine spot to do so. Running away from the anti-air. Now going to have to drop, unload. Not in the main, but going for that third base instead, I guess. Ooh, this could be devastating. This is going to cut off. What Beasty's scared of right now, too, I think he thinks these dropships are fully loaded. So he doesn't want to unload and have his opponent load on top of him. But of course, these dropships are completely empty. Stark fucking naked. But attack goes down. Spider mines are thrown down as well. Siege tanks in siege mode for Beasty are a little bit better than that of LuckyGnom. LuckyGnom tried to siege his own up, but a little bit too late. But drops on top of the tanks here, and looks like he will actually clean up this attack from Beasty. So Beasty got a good trade on the first one. In the second time around, really comes out far behind due to it. You know, he was really far ahead in the resources lost, but now tied up. Would really love to see some harass go off on one of these third bases. He's got the vultures and more importantly the control for it. Setting up siege tanks out here, sending the vultures in might be a good way to go about it. But drop ships for both players are going to be hugely critical in this game. As we saw, you can easily break a tank line if you unload a ton of tanks right directly on top of them. But moving forward here just a little bit. Tanks are unsieged, going to try and knock down this depot. Sieging up now to try and take a good defensive position. Unfortunately, if they waste all their time shooting the depots, that means they're not going to be able to shoot what's coming at them. And again, that 4-second cooldown is a bitch and a half to deal with. Spider mines being laid down too. These will actually be fantastic, because if he unloads tanks on top of the spider mines will take out the tanks, of course. But vultures get past this and go to the mineral line. That was their intent in the first place. If he loses these tanks, not a big deal, but he kills the SCVs and gets the economy of his opponent. A lot of these SCVs are barely escaping with like 1 health thanks to saving rolls. But drop on top of the tanks. Goliath will try and clean this up. Beasty not unsieging, unfortunately, will lose his tanks, but not a big deal in the end. Kills a lot of tanks of LuckyGnom at the same time, and the vultures haven't given up yet. Still pursuing into the natural base, pursuing into the main. The damage they can get done here is somewhat limited, but he will get a couple more SCVs in the end. Up to 27 killed in total, but still the resources lost. Somewhat not too crazy in the favor of LuckyGnom. Lots of dropships still available here for Beasty. It's curious to see him invest so heavily in this many dropships too, when you consider the fact that I don't believe he's gone for the dropship upgrade. No, so he can't hot pick up the tanks. And more importantly than that, these aren't medevacs. They don't heal anything. They don't repair anything. This is just I wouldn't call it a waste of supply, but a non-useful amount of supply, I think is a better way to go about phrasing that. But his opponent's got a lot loaded up into this, expecting a tank line. Both players are fully loaded up now. This is awkward. But BC, I think, has a little bit more and going to pursue this as he starts to move across the map. The problem is, like, who unloads where and who does it first. Vulture still being a present threat. Perhaps LuckyGnom's forgotten about this tunnel visioning on top of that medevac army. Both players are probably going to drop en masse here in just a moment's time. It is super awkward watching this. Because, of course, LuckyGnom would love to drop defensively, but then BC just lifts off and goes elsewhere. A couple tanks were dropped towards the main by the looks of it, but now sieged up in full. BC unloads everything. Outside the front of the base, he could push in with the tanks and Goliaths and Vultures he has out there, but I think the positioning behind the tanks, behind the siege line right now, are a little bit too good. LuckyGnom adapting to tactics of his opponent, though. Gotta give him big props. You know, he saw the siege tanks, he saw the siege mode, and immediately tried to respond with his own. But Beastie cleans up his army too well, and now pushing from the front on this. This is looking to be about over for LuckyGnom. He's got a lot of supply, but it's all in air units, or rather, not air units, anti-units. But Boost is just incredibly dumb. Yeah. Good game in the end. Beastie takes the series 2-0. I believe he only dropped one map in today's tournament, but again, another STARBOW victory for him in STARBOW Cup number 8. Now, as bitched about and complained about previous guys, I'm really tired, so I'm going to skip subscriber shoutouts. You guys know I love you. Don't give me that shit. I'm going to run some ads. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up later, do VOD cutting up and whatnot. We got some Zotac games that I put on YouTube already if you missed that, so do check those out. Tomorrow morning, I'll be casting the Energy Monthly Finals with Loco. That should be some pretty good times. It's starting at about 8 a.m. PST, I believe. It's on the Team Liquid calendar. You can check it out there, but do go check out some of the games from Zotac. It was a pretty good day. Bly versus Chaos would be one of my recommended series, or Happy Zerg versus Hanfi. But yeah, 3 minutes of ads to end the day as I go sleep immediately, as I am actually sitting here like struggling to stay awake. So good night, guys. Take care, and I gotta fix this fucking sleep schedule. Later, dudes.